right, we're good. It is 4:02 p.m. on Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. I would like to welcome everyone to the Simon Fairfield Public Library Trustees meeting. We have a quorum. We have minutes from the last meeting that Ellie sent out. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Having done so, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Moving on to the financial report.
Just real quick, I texted Nick, so he may log in, he may not. I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be a
Coming
busy
to the-
time at the farm right now.
Yeah. Coming to the end of the fiscal year in a couple months, so it's reaching that point where I've got to keep an eye on our operational and personal allocation so we don't go over. We got our second disbursement for the year into our library incentive grant account. So that account is up to $33,000, $897.81 now. Other than that, there's not a lot to report that's new. Unless anyone has any questions about any line items. Go straight down. Looking at our reservations, we have $50,000 reserved for the building project, and $2,000 was donated specifically for archives out of our regular donations account. So even though it's says it's 50 something, like in terms of unrestricted cash we can do whatever we want with, it's actually $4,048.68. For the library grants, $5,879 is reserved, which means we've got $28,000, which is unrestricted for anything, unreserved for anything. And our building project balance is currently at $91,538.75, which brings us to 22.88% of our $400,000 goal.
Okay. It's better than 21%.
Yeah, I think last month we were 22.6.
There you go. Moving forward. Are we good with everything so far? We can move on to the director's report when you're ready.
In terms of the pandemic, there's no change in our status since the last meeting. We're still, we're open at this point. We're, still officially, we only have one computer terminal set up, but before next month, I'm probably going to try to get two set up, and, instead of having it be a print kiosk, just let people come in and say you can use the computer for 15 minutes, because that's what people are doing anyway. They're coming in to print stuff, and, we ended up putting a folding chair there for people to use. So we'll kind of I'm going to try to put in a second computer before next month and find a way to space it out so that stuff isn't too close and cozy.
Right.
Still not thinking we're going to be doing much for summer reading program this year. We've had I had a meeting with other directors in Central Massachusetts, and there's some that have really good outdoor spaces and program areas and facilities. They're going to try to do stuff with those. And one or two have had good luck with virtual programming and kits last summer, so they're going to do that again. But the vast majority are planning on just kind of taking a hiatus from summer reading program this year, doing their regular story times and programs, but not doing a whole lot. Last year, the MLS bought Beanstack license for every library in the state so that we could use that to track let kids track the reading, because that's historically what we've done. But the new research and writing and stuff coming out of all of the ALA and MLA and NELA and all that is saying that's not a good incentive, and making kids track their reading over the summer is actually more of a disincentive than it is an incentive. So
It's a chore.
I think that this summer is probably just going to be kind of a summer reading program hiatus, focus on.
Justin, have you had a chance to see the new CDC guidelines, the federal guidelines, and then the governor's state opening schedule?
Has that just happened today? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Around 2:00, a little before 2:00. I just happened to be looking for something for a program, and I'm like, what are they doing on now? But then it turned out to be updates that are pretty, like opening things up. Outdoor areas that aren't crowded, as long as people are vaccinated, there's a lot of things opening up. But it was confusing. I think we need some clarification because the governor, I wasn't clear with it. One side says, okay, you can be outside if you know that if you're vaccinated and another person's vaccinated, you can be outside without masks. But then it's like, except if you're in a big crowd, and then you have to wear a mask. But if you're outside, and it was like, well, what makes a big crowd? And that was very nebulous right now. So I think they need to clarify, but it appears that things are going to open up pretty quickly, as long as we don't have some kind of crazy crashing thing happen.
Sounds promising.
So I'm wondering if...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to have, a degree of normality back inside. Outside is not really workable for us well. If you try to do anything out front, the noise is too high because Main Street's right there. Out back, we have the parking lot, and if Joe had planted the trees where they were, supposed to be planted back next to the neighbor's property, then we would have a little bit of a grassy area to work with. But instead, he put them right up next to our parking lot. So now we would be like, if we tried to do anything in the backyard, it would be like on our neighbor's sidewalk, which would be kind of awkward and weird.
Town property at the common.
Yeah, but that's on a road too. So I wonder what the noise is like there.
And at that point, we have to ask ourselves why. Why are we doing it?
Right.
If we're using cultural council money and Friends of the Library money to pay for programs or performances that aren't really on the library, in the library, or near the library, why is it us?
Yeah.
I think.
I'm just wondering if maybe, or again, it's taking it away from the library.
Well, what was the program you did, Danielle, last year up at the Orchard with books? Was it a storybook that you walked through bushes and stuff like that?
Yeah, what you do is you, the pages from the book is taken apart, and you laminate the pages, and you place them so that the families have to walk from page to page. It started from a woman in Vermont who wanted to find a way to connect literacy with physical exercise. And so she got this idea to make the families get up off the couch and walk to read the story, and it became very successful. So I've done a couple of them up at the Orchard, and I guess they did well. The one from the Apple Fest, I guess Nick said that there were a lot of people who went through it.
Yeah, we did blueberries for Sal. Did you do some that I
Yeah,
didn't do, Danielle?
I did blueberries for Sal. I did something about the one about making apple pie. That's not the name of it, but it's about making apple pie.
Mhm.
I did that one, and oh my God, there was one other one, and now I can't think of it.
Yeah, I remember blueberries for Sal because we put them all out, and they said that quite a few people did it, and then a giant storm came that night and blew them
Oh,
all
that's
over the
right. And
place
they all
before
got ripped.
we could pick them up. It's like
Yeah.
we could reuse these. Like, wait, nope, they're gone.
Yeah. Well, the apple pie one, that got blown around, but it survived. I went and picked that up, so that should be all set. I'm assuming it went back to the library. I think. I
But
must
it's
have
just,
dropped it off.
I think that that's sort of a nice way of, breaking out of what all the libraries seem to be in a rut with summer reading programs. And that type of program is exciting, I think. And it also, as you say, gets the kids up and going, and opposed to, and they don't all go at the same time. They go with the parent or
Right,
something.
exactly, at your own pace.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Asynchronous. Maybe we could do it in the state forest. Is there a trail or something that we could use?
Oh my God, there's all
Yeah.
kinds of space. I'm across the street from it.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, oh my God, you could do something. You could do something
Like Bambi.
along the beach. Of course, no, but it would be the summer.
Yeah,
But during the week, there's not a ton of people there. The weekends can get kind of crazy.
but we'd have to set up something that they wouldn't have to pay an entrance fee to get into it.
Right.
So but that would be
That would be something to work out with the
Yeah.
with the DCR and the town, because the town gets a piece of the entrance fee. So the Department of Conservation and Recreation would have to agree to it. Actually, one of the guys who works at the forest ranger station, which is right next door to us, was a student of mine in preschool. I had him when he was in preschool when he was 3 and 4 years old. I'm good friends with his mother. She used to work with me for a few years. So I could really hit them up about doing something that would kind of have to get all, I don't know what the permits and everything between the state and the town would have to be. There's always the liability issue, but I would be happy to look into that.
Yeah, if we were gonna do that, I would recommend doing something a little bit more or I would aim to do something a little bit more sturdy than the laminated papers on. We would like put up some T-posts or something
Absolutely.
with plexiglass laminate.
Well, that's the way, well, yeah, there's a lot, you know what? This is going way, way off track.
Mhm.
Are there any Eagle Scouts that are looking for a project?
I haven't gotten any requests for that lately, but I can reach out because I mean I know all the scout leaders.
That
It's not just Eagle Scouts either. They have I don't know, 5
Badge
hours
thing.
or so that they need to do each rank. So, and they can do it in group. If it's something for a group too, that would be good for just.
Did Massimo do the bridge, or was that someone else?
She did a bridge, yeah.
He did the bridge. So you have worked with these people before in terms of like what has to be done with DCR and all that, right?
It's the town, and that was a very, very unpleasant experience going to the Conservation Commission.
remember
but I'm
that.
not sure we're talking
how long ago was that?
Several years ago.
2018, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, or it doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, late 2018 or maybe 19.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying I can look into it. You never know between the town of Douglas and the state of Massachusetts. what kind of hoops have to be gone through, or if they have to be set on fire before you do jump through them.
I might have missed part of the conversation, but Massimo had talked to Carrie Vandenacker at the DCR, who handles like Wallem Lake.
Okay.
He was, well, that was, you know, a little bit, again, like off the course of what we're talking about here, but that had more to do with building materials, I suppose. But anyway, he was a really helpful source if we need him for certain.
Okay.
I think he's moved on now from what I heard.
Okay.
There's somebody new there.
I thought it was getting, yeah. it might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe, I mean, we have some cultural council representatives here. I don't know. I mean, it's not like a program, but I mean, we've got, you know, commitments of funding from the cultural council and the Friends of the Library. If we put up a couple story walks around town and, you know, said, go do it.
Are you talking about making it more of a permanent thing? Permanent?
Well, not a
fixture?
well, like, you know, something that you could put up and would be there the majority of the summer, maybe.
Right.
Or, I mean,
And
you have to
something
take it
where
up at the end of the
like you
summer. It can't
slide
stay there
the
forever.
pages in and out of the,
Mhm.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Because I know that's how some other places have done it. They put up
Yeah.
the infrastructure for it, and then at that point, it's just a matter of, you know, switching out the pages every now and then, as long as you have a book with the right number of pages.
well,
And,
yeah, and then we're going way off track, but I can talk to you about, well, you know, you're a librarian. How many
okay,
pages?
well, you know, let's just make that,
Children's
you know, the
books.
goal. We'll try to get some story walks going in
Yeah,
lieu of regular summer reading program.
yeah, all right, so,
Because I like it. I like it.
yeah, so Justin, make sure you send me an email, so.
No, you send me an email.
You're younger than me, you send me an email to remind.
And I'm going to copy Dawn on it too, because Dawn has
Yes,
little experience here
absolutely,
working with.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who we need for this, but I'm happy to help.
I'd be happy to have a conversation with you, Don.
Sure.
But
And
let's
I'm
not
sure
get
we could put
any
one
more
up at the
questions.
farm,
Yeah,
maybe on the SNET.
Mm-hmm.
yep,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice idea. Yeah.
We went biking down the Blackstone River Trail last week when it was school vacation week, and there were an awful lot of people out. So it looks like parents want to get their
mhm,
families outside, and I agree. I think this would be wonderful.
yep. I got all kinds of ideas spinning in my head right now.
Could do one up the middle of 146
Yeah.
Well,
for the parents who are looking to get
Cause
their
and
kids
effect,
out in a more
baby.
permanent manner.
Yeah.
You want to follow those rules? You don't want to get hit? Never mind.
Oh my gosh, but there's so many trails, you know, there's really no end. We
Yeah.
could,
Yeah,
It's-
take advantage of what the town has. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right, we're gonna make this work.
We could do one for kayakers too and have them out underwater.
Mhm. Okay, Justin, we're moving on.
The reclassification project is still kind of our priority one in-house. We want to get this done. We're 46% of the way there of getting
Okay, it's
every
very
book reclassified, recataloged, and properly all
Holy.
gussied up so we can run proper stats.
Exciting.
Mhm,
We all need proper stats.
that's right.
And March circulation, you know, comparing 2021 to 2020 at this point is kind of pointless because 2020 was so different.
Yeah.
So I just kind of made the table bigger to go back to 2018 to
Right.
kind of see that, you know, March 2019 was a very good year. Why is it doing that? Make it stop.
It
I'm not doing anything.
looks fine here. It just looks highlighted.
It's highlighted, that's all.
Okay. But other than that, you know, like 2021 was kind of solidly in the middle of where 2020 and 2018 was. So, or but between 2019 and 2018. So, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say we're back up to normal yet, but we're close.
I think the digital
And
loan says it
the
all.
interesting thing about March was that we had 149 full text database retrievals. So like if someone goes and searches our Gale database system, that we link to for the state, it doesn't mean anything. But if someone downloads a full text article, then it means something. And that happened almost 150 times this month. So school kids are obviously doing something.
There must have been some kind of paper that was due or project or something. Can you tell?
Hello,
when-
everyone. By the way, sorry
Hey,
I'm
Nick.
here.
Hey, Nick.
I apologize for my tardiness.
Hi.
I'll forgive you for duck
Hello.
eggs.
Oh, deal.
I'll have to get
Yeah,
up
but
there
please
and see
continue.
all those babies.
Oh, they're adorable.
Yeah. I wonder if I can get my grandsons up there this weekend. I can try.
Absolutely.
I'd love
Any
to
weekend.
see that. All right, we're
Oh, yeah.
digressing so many times here. All right.
Whole business.
Go right now. Yep.
Building project. Building subcommittee.
Nothing to
Same
report. Yeah, you've already got it on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing under any of the building subheadings to report. Our electrician, Jeff Grenier, is in physical therapy, so we're waiting for him to come back in and be able to finish up, the repairs to our system that were approved to be spent at the
Right.
fall town meeting.
Nothing's happening with the plastering?
Nothing's happening with the plastering. That was a capital request that I think
Right.
just didn't go through this year, and I kind of want to update it anyway, because the old capital request, it kind of included some other stuff thrown in, like a ramp going down into the children's room and more stuff than was just the interior plastering. But before the next round of capital stuff, this, the next cycle, I want to get a quote from Jay Baker for how much it would be to just go over the entire interior of the building and, repair the plaster and the paint where necessary.
Absolutely.
And
Let's
that
go
in and of
to it.
itself might be enough at this point to justify its own capital request rather than having to bundle it with other stuff, which
Right.
would probably,
Right.
look better. There's nothing to report for the attic door. The process is infuriatingly slow since I told Brian LaValle I didn't want to have to pay for engineering sketches and drawings. We're going to have to wait till the guy has, some spare time to devote to it, which is not right now. So it's, it's cooking. It's just cooking in a crock pot with not enough power. And the back door
On one of your plugs.
The back door is also, I don't have anything new to report. The Blackstone Valley locks, I reached out to them to ask them if they were there for an estimate. They said they were waiting on their own estimate because they wanted to look at they wanted to give me two quotes. One quote for just fixing the door and lagging it into the concrete, and then another quote for actually replacing it with something with a window there, like a little strip window, since we use it now and not being able to see what's outside when you open it can be a little bit of a hazard.
Yes.
So but it hasn't fallen off the hinges yet, and it's working, and kind of the more time goes on, the more it's kind of settling back into its groove, it seems like. So it's not an imminent problem at this point, as long as we don't get 75-mile-an-hour winds again.
Good. Are we good with all of that? Move on to grants.
But is that Nick
Can
clucking?
you keep those chickens quiet,
That could be
please?
anyone. Maybe that's Kate. Maybe it's me.
That's my chickens,
Yeah.
yes. That's
For once, it's
Marsha.
not me.
I thought for a minute that I thought for a minute Keith Menard was listening in on our meeting.
No, we don't have any roosters.
For the capital campaign, we already, we're at 91,538.75. In terms of other grants, the second library incentive grant, municipal equalization grant dispersal happened. That's why the account is so big right now. And I don't have anything else to report in terms of grants.
All right. Moving forward.
The long range plan updates. Ellie, I hope this makes you happy. I have taken all of the, in the long range plan for 2020 to 2025, we had, needs, and then they were subdivided into headings, and then actions, and then bullet points for specific steps that we wanted to take over the next 5-year period. These are those specific steps, reworded a little bit in places so that they make sense out of context of the rest of the flowchart. And I sorted them all into things that are definitively done, like allocating more resources to filling holds demand. We've done that. Home delivery happens now. We've done that. Curbside pickup happens now. We've done that. Engaging senior citizens electronically. Explore alternatives to the $2.5 million building project. We did that. That's behind us. And so these are the ones where I feel like we've made progress. There's still more progress to be made, but we're working in the right direction. That would be engaging in more communications with friends and trustees, trying to purchase enough copies of popular items that people can find them on the shelf, training staff to be adept with technical tools so they can better assist patrons, providing useful curriculum material. That was specifically for homeschoolers. It was underneath the homeschooler building point. And, I almost put that up definitively done, but, collection development is never definitively done. Enrolling everyone in the capital campaign. I feel like we've made significant strides in the capital campaign.
Good.
And seeking out grants and donations from businesses, individuals, and foundations, and creating online video tutorials to tell people how to use, popular tools. We did that earlier on in the pandemic, and I think that has, helped a lot of, our senior patrons make the jump through the digital divide, and now they're using Libby. There's a whole host of things that have been tabled due to the pandemic.
Justin, hold on one second. Just to go up a comment I wanted to make on that, on working on it. I think your staff's doing a really good job of becoming more technically adept, because whenever I'm there or call in or whatever, Gail especially, if not her, I believe it's Rebecca, they don't bat an eyelash, and they're there they've got it ready in the 30 seconds.
Yeah, Rebecca especially. I mean, she teaches me stuff.
Right. Yeah. So I think they're a really good team up there at the front desk. So I think it's almost, I know, again, that's probably something that's never done, because as soon as you master something, there's new things that come out that you have to learn.
Yeah, they just updated Libby, and I'm still in the point where I mash a button, and if it doesn't do what I want it to do, I just mash the next one. But they're doing a they're doing a webinar soon on telling everyone how to use Libby again.
Great.
In theory, it works better now. I don't know.
Okay, that was just a comment I had.
Oh, well, thank you. They can hear you, so now they're going to be full of themselves.
So can Keith.
A lot of things, have been tabled due to the pandemic. I don't think it's worth talking through all those, but we're not doing programs. We're not doing movie nights. I'm not doing advisory boards. Some things are just proving really frustrating. Trying to communicate more frequently and more thoroughly with the papers, except for Barbara. That is, if I have any hair left, it's leaving. It's just like trying to throw stuff up against a stone wall. I feel like they are just gonna, News at the Nut opens all of my newsletters that I send out via email. And at this point, I think they're going to take what they want out of it, and then they're just going to leave everything else. Any communication with them outside of that, they ignore. One time I did try to send them like a really good press release. It was for the online auction, and they kind of got back to me and was like, why did you send us this, this quote press release? We've already gotten what we need through, your newsletters. So, it was almost like they thought I was spamming them, but I don't know. And enrolling the schools in anything is always kind of terrible. I had a good working relationship with the middle school principal. He left.
There you go.
The new elementary school librarian actually came here and was all gung-ho about setting up, a collaboration with me and Deb. We had a good, hour-long conversation, a tour of the library. We never heard from him again, and he doesn't respond to his emails. So, I mean, it's
crazy. I think it's crazy that departments within this town are working and living in silos when they could be collaborating and everybody doing better for it. It's just, but you know what?
I feel like we do a good job of that with everyone on the municipal side, but the school side is just, they are on their own little hill over there.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
it's hard to kind of poke through.
I've worked for a couple of different school departments, and I've also worked for agencies that try to work with school departments, and I totally understand exactly where you're coming from. Yep. It's sad. It is. That's how it is. Don't take it personally.
I don't. I mean, the kids who want to use
Personally,
the library still use the library. I mean, we've got a lot of use. We've got, very active children's collections. And
Yes.
once we're done with the re-cataloging, I'll be able to see, just how active our collections are based on more specific age groups. And, if we are encouraging reading in the community and they're getting everything they need through the library without having to, jump through hoops and do a horse and pony show with the school, then great.
Right. Yeah, whatever. That's all you can do.
And then the last ones down here are things that we just don't really have the resources for. I mean, increasing library hours would be a big, budget increase kind of thing. Making the circulation desk more accessible. I mean, the best way to do that would be to get a new one. Incremental improvement strategies to the building project. That's something I've got some kind of preliminary thoughts on that are proto-forming in, the bigger are, and this kind of ties together with
I was going to say they go together, really.
Is that, like the bigger our LIG MEG grant money gets, the more tempting it is, to do something like, go just put out a request for quotes to, basement remodelers to remodel, the room over here next to the friend's room. I mean, we've got a room in the basement that right now we just use as a big old closet, but it's the nicest room in the basement. It has a lot of natural light. If there were drop ceilings in there and the walls were done up a little bit, it would make a perfect programming space. So, I mean, what would that cost? What would it cost to make that the programming space, and then maybe put some shelves in the other room and make that, a library? I mean, if we're going up and down the stairs anyway.
Yeah, make that the resource room.
We could have, more stuff going on in the basement.
So
and then by the time we get to a point where we can put in this addition with an elevator and stairs, then it would have, the interior would already be ready.
Absolutely. Yes, I think that's a great idea. And I think using, like you're saying, what's the cost of putting in a drop ceiling and making that room with the natural light? that's a perfect match. And then the other one, like you said, putting and shelving, making that the resource room. So you've got a room for programming that doesn't have everything stacked up in it. It's actually an open room that, you know what I mean? You've got another storage area in a different room.
But anyway, those are just thoughts.
That's great.
Yeah, but
Great.
if you're any building type stuff, like putting in a drop ceiling and stuff like that, you have to remember the prevailing wage. And so, what you see on TV when people are renovating their homes is not the real. I mean, our prevailing wage law in Massachusetts is out of sight, and that really pumps up the cost of any public anything.
It doesn't, as long as you go with a sole proprietor.
Right, exactly. And there might be somebody local that you could use that.
Well, I've been seeing on Facebook people, like, hey, call us for a quote. We'll redo your basement, like
Yeah.
not companies, but guys.
Then
Yeah.
And,
maybe we can, yeah,
But do they have insurance and all of that other stuff?
right, yeah.
And are they going to pull out all your electrical work that you have done and stuff? You don't want that to happen. But that's just, keep it in the back of your mind when you.
Yeah, I have one person in particular I'd like to contact. And see if he has proper insurance in that, because he would do a great job. Let me just, all right. I'm trying to find something that I can actually write on. So you want a dropped ceiling, right?
well, no, I'm looking at it right now because it's that way, but I can't unplug the computer or I'll lose my internet.
Right. Well, you know what? Send me an email tomorrow, whatever, about like what you're looking, just, a wish list. What, if you could do it, what would you want to do? And I can,
Nice wet bar with fridge,
oh, yeah.
dartboards.
A wine storage unit is always nice.
But that's the end of my cockamamie ramblings.
Well, thank you.
LRP updates.
It's always an entertainment. All right. Are we good? All right. Moving on to friends.
Well, this is great. Yeah, we're having a book and plant sale on May 29th. May 30th is a rain date. So the 29th is a Saturday, and then the 30th is the rain date. We're searching for more tables to put out and about so that we circle the library sort of, or get people to socially distance themselves when they're looking at books. We're going to have plastic gloves for people to wear if they want to, really pour over books a lot. And masks will be required and stuff as well. Kristen Stevens is doing the plant sale. So any of you that have plants around Kate that you're growing or something, then and you want to donate to the sale, I have a few things.
Yeah, I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be great.
I have 2 tables that I can.
All right. Well, when you did you write that down, Justin? Justin's in charge of tables.
Yeah, now I've got 3 things to email Danielle about.
Yeah, I'm making notes for myself too. I'm going to say I have 2. Remind myself that I have 2.
And so I think one of the things Justin's going to check with too, as well, is at the senior center if they have extra tables, and the municipal center if they have extra tables. So that will be, helpful for, getting our sale stuff spread out, which is a pain in the butt. normally because everybody's so close together with it.
Right.
So let's hope for good weather and lots of big purchases. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Ellie,
The
what
del-
do you need from any of us if we, like, as far as volunteering?
Well, for you, Dawn, I'd love you to publicize it or just
Sure.
keep reminding people of it
Yeah.
on social media, because you're really good at that. I'm not. And but anybody that wants to come down between about 8:30 in the morning till noontime, it's 9 till noon, Justin, not 9
Yeah,
till
I
1.
guess that's wrong. And it's a PDF, so I can't update it.
Okay.
It's right on the
Oh.
website, but it's wrong in the agenda. So just to go, I give the
Okay. Is
trustees
it right? And
faulty
it's right in
information,
the correct in the
the newsletter
Yeah.
as well as on the sign.
on the sign. Yeah, because I think I just used the word spelled out noon.
Yeah, and I couldn't do that. I did. I sent in a submission for the fire station sign, but they limit you to like 16 letters, and that's it per line. And so, I was trying to write out from 9 to noon, and I couldn't do it. I only got to from 9 to no.
No.
So I had to change it to 12.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even put in AM or PM or try to figure out which it is, what is 12 noon. But so we will have a something in the fire station. They did get it. It takes me a while, like 2 or 3 times to try to get it in there. And we worked it out yesterday. So that's good. But then Justin had requested this second thing, the delivery for the Friends to pay for that, which we all agreed to. And perhaps you can chat a little bit more about that, Justin. That's exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think it is too. The up to this point, whenever I started the delivery last June, at first, I just did it. Once we reopened again, we had Gail start picking it up, and Gail's been doing it, and starting at the beginning of the fiscal year, so July 1st of 2020, we started paying mileage for her. And so it's like 0.56 cents a mile right now. And the Friends are going to pick that up moving forward. And we're going to put some slips in with delivery saying the delivery is sponsored by the Friends of the Library. Here's information about joining. If you want to donate, volunteer, be a part of the Friends. Here's some other stuff that the Friends do.
That's awesome.
So some Friends literature propaganda to go out with delivery.
Perfect.
And I was telling, them, based on the, excitement people have had through delivery, it's probably going to generate donations and may end up actually being cost neutral. But that's not the point. I mean, the point is, the Friends of the Library are our kind of outreach arm, and they pay for all the stuff that we do for outreach, and delivery is kind of our ultimate outreach. So it's going to be sponsored by the Friends, which will free up some money in our operational budget to buy more books.
Awesome.
So Dawn, that would be another. Is there a dog out there too?
Somebody
Not
Could you
mine.
publish something about that? Justin can give you all the details on delivery.
Sure.
Remind people that it's available and stuff.
Yeah, I know that's important. Sure, I'd be happy to. Justin, you can send me something on that. Sorry to add to your list.
It's in the newsletter too.
Okay, I can just.
Did you read my newsletter, Dawn?
I did, but I was focused on the book and plant sale. It's looking forward to plants.
Good comeback.
And I don't know what more annual meeting updates means.
Oh, it was just, I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to mention from the annual meeting.
No, except that we're starting to plan for an auction that would commence during Oktoberfest and go on for 2 weeks after that. And we would hopefully either have something to hand out to people, either a list of what we have in the auction, or which I think would be sort of a pricey thing to publish, but we could try to do that. There's my phone. That's not a dog or a chicken.
It's actually not that pricey, I don't think, because there's a built-in feature in Octria where you can generate a catalog out of everything that's in the auction site and print it. So
Wow. Okay. Well, then that sounds good. So we're going to start meeting in June. I think June 12th is our first meeting on that. And so if any of you know of any people that might be wonderful to, I mentioned at the Friends meeting this, but that would be a possibility for giving a donation of a service of some sort to the auction. We'd love it. I down below us here, there's a I don't know their names. I think it's the guy's name is Mike and the girl's name is Shay, but they've started, they bought Typolace house, and they have a hoop house for growing plants. They have chickens down there. They have dogs that bark at me all the time. But they're also starting a community supported agriculture thing for flowers. And so I decided, oh, I think I'll sign up for that because I don't grow flowers, and except for bulbs in the spring. And that maybe I could, when I go pick up my flowers this summer, I'll say, oh, maybe you could give something to the auction. So it's going to be my angle.
yeah, we've already got a couple people email me too. I guess the book and plant sale newsletter reminded them about the auction that happened last fall. So they're like, are the Friends doing another auction? I've got stuff to donate. So
Excellent.
some
Great.
small hand carved boxes. John Menard, I think is his name.
Is that Keith's brother or something?
I don't know.
Yes, yes.
And some cornhole boards.
Huh. Well, this is exciting. I mean, and new things too. I think just from having the auction last year, people will have ideas of, oh, I have something I can give. So that's about it for the Friends.
Thank you, Ellie. That's great. I will certainly get my plants ready. I have got a ton. I don't know how well houseplants sell, but I have got a ton of plants that I could separate in.
Yeah, and we do have pots. I don't know if you read that in the newsletter, but we, Kristen Stevens she has a deal with the dump and the dump guys, and
Oh, cool.
they save all pots for her,
Yeah.
and she comes by weekly and picks them up. So she's put a whole bunch of pots behind the library by the fire escape
Oh, okay. All
for
right.
the taking. So just, go and take what you need. And
You know how much self-control it has taken not to publicize, meet me under the fire escape at the library for free pot.
Good one.
You know what? Can you fit that on the sign out front?
Free pot behind the library.
Yeah, you can whittle it down.
I don't know. Those signs are
Oh, there you go.
those signs
True.
are not long for this world. And I've got to come up with a new way to put signs in those things, because
Yeah.
all of the magnetic letters are peeling now, and
Yeah,
the boards
they don't
themselves need replaced. And whenever we do replace them, I want to replace them with something different, just because you can't fit a lot of information on them.
Right.
Like, or not even our URL, mysfpl.org, is too many letters to fit long ways, without like having to do like it to curl it up or something. So, but I was looking at those like felt boards where you like pop in the ticker letters, and those are expensive. expensive. Those are
I don't, yeah, but I think
far
they're ugly
pricier than
too.
I thought they were. But you can put so much on them.
Is it the actual magnets that are pooping out on the sign, or
It's kind of both things simultaneously.
because I mean that's the type of thing the friends would love to, help with.
So I guess more magnetic whiteboards and more
'Cause I really
magnets,
like
but
that.
smaller magnets.
Yeah, but you got to be able to see it too.
Right.
So
You can't get much smaller than what you have and have people still be able to read it while they're driving by.
Well,
'Cause I
everyone needs
always
to
look
get
at
their
the sign when
prescriptions
I drive
updated.
by. And of course, I'm old, but I don't know. I know what you're saying. You can't fit a lot on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to look into replacing those soon. That's sorry, that was way beside the point.
I know. All right. Can we move on to other old business? Was that was other old business? So moving on to new business, fines.
So, well, I mean, I sent the email earlier this month,
Yes,
which is
I read
basically
it.
everything I would say. So
Sure.
I would just like to propose that we go entirely fine-free and only collect money when items are damaged or lost.
I agree. I'm good.
Sounds good to me.
And we'll be just like, Netflix, where you can return your DVD 5 years later and just take it back and be happy it came home.
Sure. Yeah. I will entertain a motion to have the Douglas Library go fine free.
Moved.
I didn't quite hear that.
Second.
Questions, discussion.
What's the benefit of going rent for fine free? Does that bring a lot of money into the library or not really?
If I had to guess how much it brings into the library, because we don't, whenever we're putting money in the drawer, we don't discriminate between what's been paid to replace a book versus what was paid in overdue fines. And looking at the data I have going back to 2016, it varies widely depending on how much outreach we happen to have done that year to reach out. Because every now and then, we'll just reach out to people who have 10-year-old, $300 fines and be like, hey, you still got these. Do you want to bring back the stuff? And usually it's doesn't amount to anything. But, in FY18, we got, significantly more than usual, about $1,000 more than usual that year. And FY19 we got 1,474, but then during the pandemic we didn't charge any fines. In FY20 we only got $600 in stuff. So based on those numbers, I would guess we would lose, and I thought I had this in the email somewhere around $800 a year is my best guess of what overdue fines bring into the library.
Mhm.
And you're not worried about people just not bringing books back because it's
No,
like
in
you
fact, I think
you
it
take out a-
disincentivizes it rather than incentivizes it. Because if when you take your library book back, you have to pay money.
Right.
You're going to be more likely to keep it. The only people we're making money on this way are our regular patrons who check out stuff, keep it overdue, and then pay their fines when they come back.
So I mean, it's good publicity to say that we're a fine-free library,
Mhm.
and if we are getting money from the town, if a book goes missing, it's more, an expense for the town.
Right.
So yeah, maybe, but if you do it, make it a big thing, like
Yeah.
huge thing. Maybe, I don't know, or keep it low key. Depends how you want it to work for yourself.
Yeah, I think it'll be, it won't surprise a lot of people because we've been effectively fine-free since March of last year anyway. Because we've checked everything in amnesty mode. We're not charging overdues during the pandemic. That's going to go away soon. CW Mars is trying to make fine-free a consortia-wide policy, but there's always a few library holdouts, usually smaller ones who have significant fines, like $1 a day, and they collect them and it becomes part of their budget. However,
I mean, we don't
I
really
think if
wanna-
we put something like a Shane jar on the circ desk that people can put money in, if they bring their stuff in late, we would probably end up coming out even.
Yeah.
Or a guilt
You could
jar.
call it an
That's what I
honor
would
code late fee. I'll
Yeah.
bet you.
I mean, it's interesting,
Putting money in there.
but so just say like, I take out a Lord of the Rings book, but someone else wants the Lord of the Rings book. What makes me have to bring it back when it's due for the next person to get it if there's no fine? Because I remember when I was young, I'd be like, oh crap, I got to pay a fine if I don't bring this book back. So what's making them bring it back on time?
Really nothing. But I mean, most people are going to bring it back when they want to bring it back anyway, regardless of the fines, because the fines are so insignificant. They only amount to anything, substantial whenever you add them all up together throughout the entire year.
I see. Yeah. So now what happens if the same person?
And then the
wants
other thing is
two different
guilt.
books,
I
but
mean, you
just
get
it?
your automatic notice whenever it's due. You get your automatic notice when it becomes lost.
Right.
And then if it's, stays lost beyond that, then eventually you'll get a phone call from me saying, why haven't you brought our book back? Why haven't you seen us? Don't you love us? We miss you. Come back. Bring us our stuff.
Yeah.
So at that point, Justin, if it is a lost book, does that take away the borrowing privilege of that patron or not?
It does. You can only have, if you have something lost on your account, then you can't check anything out. And that's the other
All right.
incentive to bring stuff back, is that you want to get something new, or you want to use Libby or Overdrive, and
Right,
you can't
right.
because your account's locked,
Right, I was
because
gonna
you're
say
sitting
that.
on, one of our
And
things without bringing it back.
Do they pay money to open that account up again and be like, well, I lost the book, but for $50 you can reopen up your account? Or are they
Well,
just done?
if they lost the book, if they bring the book back, the account's good, again, or they have to pay for the replacement cost of the book. Every time we catalog something, we put in the cost of the item.
Yeah.
And that we're still going to charge. I mean, if someone damages a book or, doesn't bring a book back, you're billed for the book until it comes back. But if the book comes back, we're not going to make you pay. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. All right. I think I have all the information I need.
So you still have to vote on this, Danielle, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just, any other questions, discussion? Can we move to vote?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all those in
So moved.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. From now on, the Douglas Fairfield Public Library will be fine-free
Woo!
until such a date as someone may deem otherwise. I have to get legal here. All right. So, annual elections, Tuesday, May 11th, annual town meeting, Saturday, May 15th, 10:30. Is there anything on the warrant that the library needs to be aware of?
Other than just, the annual budget and appropriation, no, we don't have any special articles, and there's nothing library related, and other than just, the overall budget.
Right. Just a reminder to people that we do have one board member who is up for election or re-election. That's Dawn.
That's right.
Please vote for her.
This is the extent of my
Speech,
campaign.
speech.
My husband asked me one time, what if nobody votes for you? And there's like, because it's unopposed and you get
Yeah.
0, what happens then? I said,
You're
no,
gonna vote for
it's not going to happen because you're going to
No,
come.
everyone needs to vote for Dawn. You know, like the things that keeps me up at night is, you know, what if no one votes for the incumbent trustee and then someone quietly goes around asking for write-ins?
Yeah.
Maybe someone who's bitter and doesn't like the library and wants to get on the board
Oh.
because they want to wreak chaos. You know, that would be bad. So
Yeah. You don't want a bad trustee.
Hmm. All right, so reminder. Okay. Other new business. Hearing none.
I do have one
Oh,
piece
sorry.
of new business. I want to spend some money. I want to spend $1,569.47 from grants to buy some shelves
For where?
for the. Can everyone see this, or is my screen
All
showing the
I'm
shelves?
seeing
Just
is
seeing the
your
agenda.
report.
All right, I want to see the shelves. See the shelves.
You might have to stop sharing, Justin, and go to the other share. That's what I have to do sometimes.
Okay, I see it
Yeah,
now.
we see
Are
it.
you gonna see it? Okay, so it's a tall, skinny shelf, 60 inches high, 24 inches wide, 9 1/4 inches deep. As we are breaking the juvenile collection up into chunks, all of the early grade stuff is in the far back room, you know, where the train tables and things were. And then we've got kind of the gray shelves that divide in half the room that's, you know, if you're looking at the circulation desk to the right. And on the far end of that, we've got, you know, juvenile stuff. And on the closer ends of that, we've got young adult stuff. Or not young adult stuff. Why? Why is, what is why?
You?
Yep. Grades, middle
Seven
school. So like it's middle school. So we're
$7
separating middle school, elementary
Are you
school
kidding me?
from pre-K. And so the collections are not fitting the way they need to fit. But between the front and the back, there's the 2 pillars. And we used to have some big gray shelves next to those pillars. But those are the ones that we moved to kind of cut the front room in half. And so what I would like to do is get these tall, thinner shelves to put next to those pillars, anchored to the floor, so that they don't butt out and sort of, you know, go beyond the pillars. So it's a perfectly sized shelf to slide in, so that we can have space to put our graphic novels on one side for our youth collection, and on the other side are picture books for our elementary collection, if that makes sense.
Are
I
the,
don't understand putting picture books 60 inches high, 6 feet high.
well,
It's
there's
6
shelves
feet.
in there. Are they fixed shelves or can you adjust the height?
They're adjustable.
Okay.
And it's not 6 feet, it's what's 60 divided by 12.
6 feet.
The
5
the
feet.
shelf is 5 feet tall, so like the top of the book would only be 5 feet off the ground. So the bottom would be more like 4 feet off the ground. That makes sense?
Well, how are children 4 years old going to reach the picture books?
These are not for children who are 4 years old. These are for children who are kindergarten through 4, K through 4. Is that what we've designated, Jay?
Right on that.
So another 5-year-olds.
Oh, I've got a cheat sheet right here. Okay, these are for kids who are like kindergarten through 4th grade. And we do actually have picture books that are in that age range, because that's like picture books that are, you know, we've got some like wordless picture books, which are more like art presentation pieces than bedtime stories. And picture books on like serious things like genocide, immigration crises, the stuff that we didn't want in the, infant through K collection has moved out and become part of that collection.
So how many books can be held in this bookcase?
24 inches times.
No. How many books? I don't care.
I don't
the
know how many
measurements.
books.
Depends how big they are.
I
right?
don't count the books. I use my tape measure.
But I mean, are you going to have it as a rotating collection, or is this a permanent
Hopefully not.
collection that goes in there?
Yeah, if it's a permanent collection, it would be a permanent place for these things to live.
So you only have that size of a bookcase for K through 4th grade?
For K through 4th grade picture books, which there's not a whole lot of.
So that's nonfiction, or probably? I don't know.
It
Well,
tends to
yeah,
be mostly more
don't-
nonfiction, or else fiction that deals with weightier topics. And like that's one of the reasons that we wanted to split these collections apart, is to get the picture books that are the night my dad never came home because he was in jail, away from Elephant and Piggy.
Mhm.
So it's 2 bookcases, right?
Yep.
And the other one has, tell me what was in the other one? It was graphic novels.
Graphic novels for youth. That would be 5th through 8th grade graphic novels.
Mm.
The
So-
teen stuff has gone back to the loft, just apropos of nothing. We're moving that collection back up. I thought that bringing it downstairs would make it circ more among adults, but it really didn't. So gonna put it back where it fits.
What's going back to the loft? I didn't hear you.
Teen collections for grades 9 through 12.
So I'm looking at it from a budgetary standpoint. Are you looking at like a surplus for materials? Are we on track for spending? Because it is.
I wanted to use grant money for this.
Oh, okay. So there's not a problem with, so it just seems a little expensive, but if it fits and
They
works.
are expensive. I tried to price out other things though, and if you like, the thing about the Gaylord shelves is they're made like each shelf is rated to hold 150 pounds.
Uh-huh.
They're library shelves, where
Okay.
if you try to use
hear ya.
you can't go to Target and use their shelves because
Yep.
they'll last a year.
Yeah, because yeah. All right. Not a problem. That was my only
Yeah,
little bit
that
of
was kind of my
concern.
same question.
And in the library grant account, we have
Oh,
$28,018.11 of unreserved cash.
So
Okay.
this is LIG, MEG money?
Yes.
all right. I will entertain a motion to approve spending, what was it? 7 times 7, 14.99.
Oh, that doesn't account for shipping.
What was
Oh.
the
$1,569.47.
All right, okay, that amount for shelves, for 2 shelves.
so moved?
Second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
All right.
All right, you got it, go buy some shelves.
They'll be here in like, I don't know, 60 or 70 days.
It said that shipping was like 40 days from the time you order it.
Mhm.
It's crazy on everything right now, yeah. So next meeting is May 25th, 2021, I'm assuming at 4 o'clock via Zoom. I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a fast meeting.